did Louisville write NIL checks that they can't cash. Caleb, this involves some Tennessee players. So what are we hearing from the Louisville contention about NIL cash?
Yes. So, and guys, this is chaotic. Okay. 3 offensive linemen are reportedly set to enter the portal from Louisville. Ruben Unje joined in January and is entering the portal now. Trevante Sylvester and Victor Cutler both joined last summer. Sylvester's refuting a report. Excuse me, Trevante Sylvester and another player who joined last summer are entering. Sylvester is refuting the report that he's entering, but nothing's confirmed that he's not yet. Victor Cutler was reported to also enter, but now he is actually staying. But it's been an absolute chaotic situation. The reporting out of Louisville's total. No one knows what's going on there. And when it's this chaotic and some players are entering, you know that there is something Louisville did that was shady. There was also Jermaine Lowell, who is entering the portal, and running back Penny Boone, who also transferred to Louisville this past all season back in January, is also entering the portal. 2 players who joined in January are gone in spring. That leads to the idea of some NIL checks that can't be cashed.
With Louisville, is it necessarily a long-term strategy, or do you go in and you make such a splash that creates a long-term strategy? Do you even have a long-term strategy, or are you just chucking up 3-pointers like in an NCAA tournament game because that's the best option you got?
It's almost like, have you ever done this, Dave? I mean, well, no, you haven't done this, but you know business, you know investors. But so I feel like sometimes businesses or seeking investors or blatantly lie about their situation or anything like that, and they get investors on board. And then once the investors are on board, the investors find out they were swindled, but then they're like, yeah, you were swindled, but you're stuck with us now, so you better help us make it work because you're screwed otherwise.
I agree, but like if you want to look at the Bernie Madoff situation, he wasn't even making investments. So what was he supposed to do? He had to lie to his clients.
Yes, exactly. And so did Louisville just – I can't imagine Louisville pulled a Bernie Madoff because they had to know this was going to get caught, right? My thought is they signed –
I don't think it – but you see, it's your word choice that I don't like. You said Louisville. I don't know that Louisville did it, but it just takes one businessman to get intertwined into that collective world, right? So that may not be
Correct.
Louisville. That could be Bob, who owns the Carpet Express down the road.
That's a good point. You're right about that. So
and suddenly Bob has made your whole athletic department look like trash. That's why I think having a collective to go through it. And listen, we're going to have news where there's going to be a collective who's being unfair to the players, and they're taking way too much money. That is going to happen. But you still need a collective there to make sure the money is managed fairly for the players. As I suddenly have gotten the hiccups on the air. Caleb, say something insightful.
No, I totally agree. And this is where I wanted to transition to the Matt Hayes of Saturday Down South article, because the transfer portal opened yesterday and on Tuesday, April the 16th. This is the first transfer portal in which the NCAA, all of their regulations are put on hold because of the lawsuit Tennessee filed. Okay, so it is now the Wild Wild West is fully out in the open.
Someone right now, and you think I'm exaggerating, has gotten paid 5 digits to visit a school and will be offered 7 digits before the end of this spring transfer portal period. Now, I think that is stupid, because I think you're looking for immediate impact players, and spring's too late in the game of football to have an impact in the fall. I'm not saying across the board, but for the most part, I think that's stupid. But those types of deals are going on right now. Brought to you in part by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Imagine having the best spas made right here in the U.S. in your backyard. Well, they're here. Now open. Dynasty Pools and Spas has their brand new showroom open in Athens, and the best hot tubs and spas on the market. Delivery, they can do that within 125 miles. Complete support, spa cover, and chemicals to help your spa bubbling at its best. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Go to dynastypoolsandspas.com. Caleb?
Yeah, they're gonna start paying players to visit them, and this is, the market hasn't worked itself out yet, because it never went this fully unregulated.
It's
So-
funny to me that it's working itself out to actually hurt the high school play.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. You're right. I mean, people aren't going to really want to open the checkbook for high school players anymore. You're right. Nico came in at the right time. I think what's just so interesting about this is that, I mean, of all people, by the way, Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss said it's a really stupid system. Says the guy who's building his entire team off the transfer portal. I think what's driving him crazy is he's worried about losing all of his guys because he made all these moves in December. What leads to that is this spring is not going to be like last spring, where most of the people who entered the portal were players who entered because they probably couldn't play where they were at. No, there's going to be a lot of tampering and a lot of players entering the portal in the spring this time around because somebody, like you just said, offered them 6 digits to visit and they're offering 7 digits that they commit. That's exactly what's happening here.